Good morning, everybody. No tea today. I've already had my cup of tea, so I'm down to water. Welcome. Welcome. This is my regular Sunday stream time, 10 a.m. Pacific. And what we're going to talk about today is an author-focused stream. So I do lots of Booktube content, but I do about 25% AuthorTube. At least that's what I aim for, content. So that's what we're doing today. And I'm going to talk about author goals. And I see Jean Shelby in the comments. That's very cool because she's doing a whole series on author goals, which is great. I was actually inspired to do this because there's a author collective that is, the list is hosted by Emma Bennett, so Romance Emma's channel, and it's about author goals, and it's a lot of authors doing videos about their goals. So I thought, oh, I can jump on that list. So this is what I'm here for today. And if you are new here, feel free to like and subscribe. If you are a writer, an author, someone looking for body doubling throughout the year because you're trying something new, very happy to have you join my channel's community and check it out. And if you've got questions, feel free to put them in the chat, especially with a Q, so I can see easily when people have questions. So, yeah, I've had some blocks in terms of planning and content and research and everything. Since last year, I've been working on what am I going to do for 2025? What are my expectations? All those kinds of things. Sorry about the noise. But I had a hard time sort of seeing beyond June because there's a lot of family responsibilities, there's a lot of travel, there's a lot of maybes. And so when I was thinking about how do I slot in what I usually do for a new book, I was kind of, well, contingency planning, right? And I've got a plan, and that's how I filtered through to these goals. But there's 3 goals and 2 sort of like things that I want to get done. So I'm considering that as a goal. So my grand plan here. I just came out with a book, which is, I'm right in front of, it's back there. ORLA Rafferty Seeks Her Fortune. I'm a historical fiction author in that respect. It's the start of a new series. And I am excited to do a draft of book 2. So that is the first goal, a first draft. And this month is marked out for researching and plotting, very generally, because I am a discovery writer. And March is when I have marked out for my drafting. So kind of like my own NaNoWriMo, I like to do a focused period because when you write a first draft and you're a discovery writer, there's so many threads that I need to have a focused period where I can concentrate on all of it and eliminate other distractions, like see the cattail there, so that it's at least somewhat consistent and, internally cohesive. Oh, goodness. Hi. Hi. Someone's wanting to steal the show. So that's the plan to get the first draft done is March first draft. Second author goal is to self-edit. So that's got a different month assigned to it. I think it's May because you need to have some time in between. So my next author goal is self-edit. I've got a really good let's see. I've got a really good book about self-editing. That is my writing craft section of the business bookcase up there. So I may reread that in the mix of books between now and May. Or I did just get another book from a Kickstarter that I supported that may help with self-editing. 7 drafts from Bold Coffee and Books, so that might be helpful. But it's a different skill, right? So I am factoring that in. I'm giving myself time. I've done this 7 times before, so I do know that you sort of have to get in a different mindset. So I've made some time, blocked it off, hopefully given enough time on either side to be a little flexible if I don't start on time or if it takes too long, etc. So the self-edit so I can go back and check things and make sure, okay, this is a good character, this is enough of a plot, this is enough of stakes, it's in the right place, like I don't have to change major details, and things are consistent enough for someone to understand what's going on. Then it's like good enough for me to send off to a developmental edit. So that's number 2. Cat Paw is here. Hello. Gareth is here. Hello. Leslie is here. Happy Sunday. And Gareth says, I'm glad I caught this as I was considering doing a shout out reaction video. Shout out or reaction to what? I'm wondering. Feel free to elaborate in the comments. So that's the first 2. And then what comes next, once I've gotten it in good enough shape, book 2's manuscript will be sent off to a professional editor. I've been teaming up with Christy Stratos for the last couple of books in terms of doing developmental editing. And that's basically where she will go over the manuscript and say, okay, so big picture, like this chapter is a little wobbly. I feel like it's leading here and then you go this way or something like that. So again, another brain working on the larger threads and making sure they connect. She's also great because she's a historical fiction writer. So she catches things like, would this be the historical detail that's right? Or are you referencing something here that I don't understand because this isn't my decade? Can you, make that clearer? Stuff like that. So third goal is professional edit. And I think I have that marked out for August. So that I have enough time to do mine and send it off and then get all the details and reabsorb. So this is why I've got those 3 sort of lined up as author goals to do with this new book that hasn't been written yet. I'm still trudging away on the plotting outlining phase. Garrett says, your enthusiasm for editing always impresses me, although it could be reluctant enthusiasm. I don't know that I would characterize it as enthusiasm because I hate editing. I don't know if that's not apparent or what, but yeah, it's evolved over time, definitely, but that's the part of the process where I have to drag myself kicking and screaming and bait myself with chocolate at the other end of the line. So, yeah, it's been a learning process to learn how to edit. Reaction to you doing a video on author plans. Okay. Okay, gotcha. Jeremy is here. Hello, Jeremy. Feastagram. That's who you are on Instagram. I don't know if you guys have this happen too, but when you know people online, obviously you're more tuned into their online persona. So sometimes I'll just think in terms of handles and usernames and forget actual names. Sorry if that doesn't work for anyone. It's just how my brain works with online relationships. Okay, so we got 3 author goals, and then the 2 next ones are going to be kind of divergent. So we've got draft, we've got self-edit, and we've got professional developmental edit. For number 4, this is something that I've been struggling with for several months now, and I'm hoping to nail this down in 2025. So this is what okay, just sidebar note, I went through 2 months worth of video planning and video level exploration before I finally got to this topic for today over the last 2 days. So I went through a whole line of complaining about author stuff before I got to author goals. So this is how I got here. My brain has been going off the rails. And so I don't know why it was such a weird workaround, but we did get there. But complaining about stuff actually brought me to one of the goals, which is the number 4, which is I've had a pretty good routine on YouTube. And I hesitate to say that because my brain hates routine. So please, brain, don't rebel now that I've said you do this well. I do Sunday streams. I do Wednesday streams. I just cut back to every other Wednesday. And I do first and final Friday productivity streams. And then occasionally I'll have a month where I do something every day, or a month where I do an author series or something like that. So that works best for me when I have a focused, timed, there is an end point series, and I can arrange it and plan for it and reach out to other people to help with it. I don't I don't do things in perpetuity. My brain doesn't like, "You will do this the same forever, ever, ever." It doesn't like that prospect. So, one of the things I've been rearranging to get back to to get back to goal number 4 is social media stuff. And we have all different views on this and we have all different preferences on this, but the landscape of social media platforms has become sort of a hellscape in the US, and Twitter is no longer feasible for me, and TikTok has never been a like regular thing, and it just feels weird now with the stunt and the politicization. So, Facebook and Instagram are also sort of tainted because Zuckerberg has like moved into the place of controlling things and not fact checking, and everything sort of feels tainted, right? So, what I've been focusing on is like consolidating and making sure I'm not doing repetitive things, not doing useless things, not shouting into a void. What I want to do with social media engagement is actually talk to people who I know who are interested in the same things and concerned about the same things, and not have a big brother looking over my shoulder telling me how to do this. So, the best I can come up with is having a YouTube channel where I can talk directly to people that's not censored. And I'm on Blue Sky, so that's like the Twitter alternative. It's got some limitations. I still don't know how to send a photo in a DM. I tried to do that and I couldn't, and I thought, "Okay, this is a missing link." But I want that to be my, like, sharing little tidbits kind of platform. And then Patreon, which there is a free version you could just follow without paying anything, is kind of like the blog. Because I have a website, but I hate altering it. I hate modifying it. It's a recipe for aggravation whenever I have to, like, change something. So, I'm using Patreon because they do the stuff and they have the coding and I don't have to worry about it. So, that will be my, like, blog where I share twice a month. More longer written posts and, stuff to do with author business and travel and things. So those are the 3. I've got a newsletter. It's just like the website. It's like one of those things you should do, and I just it I've been trying to tell people on the newsletter, like, I'm not getting engagement here, so if you want to continue to be in the community where I'm talking about things, can you migrate over to one of these places? And they have or they haven't, and at this point, after, like, 6 months of saying that, I'm kind of que sera, sera. So, my goal for 2025 is to align with my values on social media, and I've done a pretty good job of a routine on YouTube. This is where I come back to the point. I do Sundays, I do Wednesdays, I do Fridays, and I do series once a year. So, I want to repeat that success on the other platforms. Patreon, I've sort of struggled to have a routine and like a purpose. Like, what's the voice that I'm using for that medium, right? And I think I need to revamp that. I think I need a new tier. I think I need like a schedule of like what topics. So, like what I did when I started the YouTube channel, I have a range of topics and I rotated them. I think I should do something like that for Patreon to get me more excited about it and get me feeling more comfortable there. Um, so that's Patreon. And then on Blue Sky, same thing. Like, I do like it for, ooh, here's a big sunrise picture. Enjoy. But also, do I use it like I used to use Twitter, which is when I have a live stream, I always announce on there and say, hey, if you're interested in this topic, I'm going live in a second. So, or 5 minutes or whatever. So I need to think through those things and see if they're worth it and experiment and analyze. And so that may take 6 months or the whole year, who knows? But I really would like to feel as comfortable and um, confident as I do on YouTube on the other 2 chosen platforms, which reach different people. So that is goal number 4. Nice cat. He came back. He's been fluttering around and he's back here. Should I just do this so that he can No one sees being on the channel and like, that's because he's kind of camera shy. But Yeah, maybe I'll just leave this up. So goal number 5, if no one has anything to say or ask about goal number 4, goal number 5 is the series. So, like I just said on YouTube, I have this routine. Once in the year, I usually pick a month where it's slow, and I try to like do some intense speaker uh, interviews on the channel. So whether that's authors who are coming on to talk about their books for a certain theme, or whether that's readers who are coming on to do some like reading sprints. I did fireside chats with folks on YouTube, both booktubers and author tubers. And then I did writer wind downs last year, which was nice as well. And those have both been in August. So we'll see if this is an August thing. Um, and I did Good Fight Fridays as a roll up to my release in November. So that was like a few months, and I did that with some great authors, having them on the channel to talk about how they use the struggle for representation and authenticity and equity in our society and put that into their books, which I loved. So we'll see what we're going to do in 2025. I'm not sure yet. See, that does no effect. What I do for Bean is, yeah, that is his siren call, apparently. Okay, I'm getting a crick in my neck from doing that, so we're gonna have to like yield from the cat cam. Sorry, everybody. Hi, Devin. Good morning. You're here on time or in time. Socials are out there. My focus would be on YouTube, community tab, important. It seems to be coming up more often or more regularly for me, which is great. My newsletter and something else like Patreon or Ko-fi or whatever. Yeah. It's interesting because Ko-fi, I have one, but like I don't put anything on it and no one ever uses it. So I've kind of just abandoned it. And I've noticed that some people have a Ko-fi link in their videos and they just don't put anything up at all. It's not like an attempt to make it a blog or like a feed or a benefits or anything. And I kind of like that approach. Like if you want to leave a tip, but my content is elsewhere. So that makes sense to me. Laura is here. She says, "Aw, yeah, cute cat for the win." Yeah, and Laura says, "Wonder if the cat thinks you're talking to him all this time." Well, in the apartment, whenever I talk aloud, he might think that I'm talking about him because he's the only other person in the apartment. But, I have to go out to talk to people. That's fine. Leslie says, "Kitty." Yeah, so many great chats. And Cat Paw says, "All those specials were really interesting." Yeah, thank you. This series, I guess the series that I'm working on this year is once a month for Truth and Reconciliation, talking about climate grief and how we're sort of dealing with the emotional trauma of things going extinct and things being polluted and rights being taken away, all that kind of stuff. So I guess I already have it in mind, but I don't have them all lined up. I did one for January. Melissa Ike was my experiment and my first one. So thank you so much to Melissa. And I know I have Victoria coming on in May, I believe, but like I have other slots to fill. So just thank you for the segue. If anyone has an issue or a topic that sort of intersects with climate grief and losing rights and sort of the good fight again, and wants to come on and talk about it, you can rant, you can, give information, you could talk about a book that awakened you to the tragedies. I'm just looking to give people a space, and there can be more than one. I welcome, especially if you've got like the same topic and want to talk about it with some friends. I welcome people to do panels and such on my channel where we can talk about how we're feeling about this and like acknowledge before we can get to solutions. Kara says, "Social media is essential to get the word out. I'm still just suing the tainted rubbish as other people are there. Using the tainted rubbish. Gotcha. Using something better that nobody is using is a false economy, but I get it." Yeah, you're hoping to be part of the wave that, boosts up something else eventually. And we do have lots of people on Blue Sky now. I think I think the last number I heard was 47 million, but don't quote me on that. I'm not good with numbers. There's no good answer to the social media trap. Yeah. You got to be yourself wherever you feel like you find your communities, I think is the answer. Laura says Blue Sky is getting a lot of new users, so it's not too much like talking into the void anymore. Yeah. And it depends on who you follow, right? You got to, just like any new platform, a new environment, find the people who are your people. So I think I started following a lot of climate folks because of the starter packs that people provided. There were lists of accounts to follow if you like XYZ climate stuff. But I've also got friends from other platforms who are like, I'm on Blue Sky. So then I follow them. So I've got an author list. I haven't made lists yet because I'm not following that many people. It's all very small at the moment. But yeah. Oh gosh. Gareth says, when people started leaving MySpace, I had to decide as a musician when I was going to move to Facebook. Oh, MySpace. Oh. Oh, yeah. Well, things evolve. I was never really a MySpace person. Okay, so that's the fifth goal, is to have like the author series or the Booktube series or what have you, be robust, right? Like get people to be involved and get excited and really serve the purpose. So it might be the once a month throughout the year, or there might be something else in August that pops up. We'll see. We'll see. But that is my fifth goal. So first draft in March, self-edit in May, professional edit in July or August, maybe. Bringing the routine of YouTube to Blue Sky and Patreon, and like some energy and some enthusiasm for it. And perhaps an intensive month for a speaker series, interview series, sprint series, whatever it will be. So I like having that like once a year thing, kind of like a nano, but my style. So those are my 5 goals. And this doesn't include a lot of stuff. I was just on already booked. I can't remember the name of the channel because it's a new one to me, but I was watching his sum up of what he's learned after 90 days on Booktube, and I was like, oh, bless, right? And I said, it's really hard for me to do these types of sum up. Excuse me, 1 second. Sum up types of videos because there's so much going on that it's like hard to encapsulate and say like, these are my 5 goals, because also like I'm learning XYZ on some other fronts, right? There's like health goals, and there's family relationship goals, and there's travel goals, and there's whatever else, right? Speaking of which, here's another segue for my readathon next month. It is currently the last week of January, so I am gearing up and getting ready for the Black Author Tuber Readathon, which I am hosting for its 4th year. And that is due in part because when I first got on Booktube, I realized that the Black authors that were on here were talking about how they were suppressed in the algorithm, and how it's just like a reflection of publishing, that the way they're treated in social media is like only looked to for certain things, certain times of the year. And I do realize that the readathon is during that certain time of the year, which is Black History Month in America, but it's just sort of where I thought it would play with people. So I'm doing my part to highlight the channels of Black author tubers that I've read their work. I respect their ethic and their what they bring to AuthorTube, and so I try to boost their voices and give them a bit of a platform, my tiny platform, for their work to get read more widely. So I'll also be talking about some genres and like people that I like in certain genres, and we'll hear some recommendations from those channels on Sundays, along with my usual content. So I'd also have a spreadsheet, which I will put the link in the chat. Updated terms of service. Thank you, Bitly. That's definitely what I need right now. There we go. All right, so it's customized. Boop. There it is. That's the spreadsheet that I've just used to add to each year. And so we're in our 4th year and we've got lots of good titles on there. So if you're looking to support, especially Black indie authors that are on YouTube, because that is the preponderance of the people on the channel, on the spreadsheet, you've got a lot of links to buy and links to watch. And so if you want to subscribe to some of those, that would be great. Yeah, and I've read some great romances and some great fantasy sci-fis. Those are kind of my 2 go-tos for Black author tubers. So yeah, so that will be starting on February 1st, which is, I believe, a Saturday, and running until February 28th. And feel free to join. All you got to do to join is add a title or, talk about one of those titles in a video so that you're helping get the word out about Black authors' books. And just Devin is in the chat. Devin's on that list. So, yes. Woohoo, readathon. Yay. That is the link. So it's a bit.ly link, 2025 BAT readathon. Should be easy. And just like that, my TBR blew up. Yay. So I have a few on my list and I have a few channels I'm going to highlight this year, and they will give more recommendations. So hopefully it'll be like a chain of great recommendations. But I think that finishes up my stream today, my 5 author goals. If you've got radically different goals, you're going in a different direction, let me know in the comments. But yeah, I've got lots of good plans because, as I said, I did a lot of complaining and I did a lot of planning, and February and March are sort of sketched out now because I had to plan for the readathon, and then I had to plan in my planner because of the way I do out the weeks, and I had some things to schedule. So that is all coming down the pike, and I'm very excited. I'm feeling a little murky with some of the reading that I'm doing now, but hopefully we'll clear that out. We'll get some prunes in the digestion of the reading and be on to some new good stuff for Black Author Tuber Readathon. So, any questions? And if not, thank you for watching, and diversify that reading list. That's one of my key ending notes. And I'll just hang on for a second to see if anyone has any comments. Hey, Jim, just catching up here in the midpoint. Devin has a crazy 25 in 2025, which is a list of 25 published or ready to publish stories or books. Wait, this isn't that you want to read. This is that you're going to publish. That is insane. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that profile photo is appropriate for that comment. Wow. Yeah, Laura's like, ah. Good luck. Good luck, Jeremy says to me, and I'll say that again to Devin and anyone else who has author goals. Oh, Catpot is asking about a translated fiction readathon. Yes. So I've just seen a couple videos about translated fiction. Gareth, did you just put out one? Or no, Brian did. So Bookish, I think is his channel name. He got in early. He just put out a translated fiction list, and Katya at Page Turners with Katya was his impetus for that. She's been really great on translated fiction, but the readathon that I'm aware of is actually specific to women in translation, so either as the authors or the translators, and that happens in August. And I think it is run by, there's a gal, what's her name? She's young, she has brown hair, she lives in Europe somewhere, and I'm blanking on the name of her channel. But if you look up women in translation, August, one of the reviewers and interviewers that I know from Audiophile Magazine, Kendra Winchester, is also a big mover and shaker with translated fiction. So she will be hot on the trail of anything. So Kendra Winchester is someone to look up. Curious Reader, that's her name, the one who I was trying to describe. I think that's her channel name. But yeah, so definitely lots of stuff going on later in the year. Good luck with the different process and schedules. I was giving Gareth crap for having so many things going on. I think he has like 50 things going on, and I have like maybe 2 per month. That's all I can handle. And he has like 50 per year. So that's like a double, I think, if I'm doing my quick math. Yes. So Brian from Bookish did a video, and Gareth has been randomly reading translated fiction without an event, but always something we should be doing, I think. Yeah, it's in the mix. Yeah. So hopefully that helps. Womenintranslation.org Whit month. And I remember using that. I haven't used that hashtag in a while, but yeah. Thank you, Devin. There we go. Excellent. So yeah, translated fiction. And that's it. Thanks for coming, everybody. Thanks for watching. Good luck in your author goals for 2025. And I will see you Wednesday for my next Wednesday wrap up. Yay. All right. Have a good week, everyone.